Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Gemini in mid-August 2021. What's going on, Gemini? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Oh, Gemini, welcome to mid-August. No announcements, guys, so wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Take good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, all right? Anything you want, it is already in the description box if you want to purchase a personal reading with me, but you have questions before you do so, just email me at the same address that is listed down there, and I will answer you as soon as I can, okay? All right, guys, let's get into it for Gemini, please, mid-August 2021. Gemini, mid-August 2021. And just for clarification's sake, guys, when I call out the month, I'm literally just cataloging these videos so that I can keep track of what I'm creating. The messages might resonate in your past, in your present, or in your future. So please, don't think that all of this needs to be happening right now in your lives. All right? All right, let's get into it. Gemini, 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 mid-August 2021. Strength, major arcana for Leo. You could be dealing, but you don't have to be. Very stingy energy. Did not feel that way in the meditation, but here we are. And okay, there's one thing. What was that? Looked like something fell to the table there. Anyway, at least one more, please, for Gemini to begin the reading. Okay, this guy, full energy has been coming out this month. All right, so strength, Leo, Six of Cups, Fool, reversed, Aquarius. Could be dealing with any sign I mentioned, that is not yours or not at all. It's a general. Take it with a grain of salt. All right, so here we go again. There's connection. There's significant connection you have with another person or other people. Six of Cups. I feel like for some of you, it's like a group or like more than one person. And you feel tenderly about these people, Gemini. You have admiration for them or certain affinity for them. You have tender memories of this person. But I feel like that's kind of a stumbling point, a tripping point for you or for them. It's a general, can go the other way, because this Fool in reverse feels like a reckless energy. It feels like very caution to the wind, and maybe that's what you're desiring or what someone else is desiring. If there is a particular person you would like to be close to, possibly reunited with, because the Six of Cups can also talk about nostalgia or a relationship from our past, a relationship of significance that we have sort of lived through and it's sort of disappeared or tapered away in some type of way. So someone may desire a rekindling of that, but in a reckless way, without care, like almost like very dramatic, like you might, or the other person, because I feel your energy is pretty mixed. I feel like it's almost 50-50. Some of you Geminis, this is what you want. Others of you, this is what someone else is desiring from you. And it's like to come in and like kick a door down and say very strongly, you're the person I love, you're the person I miss, you're the person I want to connect with. And that, again, is like reckless for some reason. It seems it's not well thought out, let's say it that way. There might be consequences if something like that were to happen. So that could be another reason why this is in reverse, because as much as it would be reckless, I also feel like it might not manifest that way, or it might not ever transpire that way. And this could be what someone's thinking in their mind. Again, Six of Cups can be kind of a fantasy energy, or again, this looking back on, living, fantasizing about all the things you could have done, said, and what you could do or say in the future, and never really taking action. So there's that potential here. This has nothing to do with you, but Aquarius and Leo are opposite signs of each other, so maybe there's something to do, like maybe that's I think I might be like channeling an affirmation for some of you. So you might have an attraction to your opposite sign or a connection with your opposite sign, which would be Sagittarius. I did their reading. I think I did it today. Yeah, I don't think I did it yesterday. Anyway, I did it recently, but I can't remember what happens. So maybe you want to check that out, or maybe Leo and Aquarius, again, are significant in your chart, their chart, whatever. But there's something about opposites. So this could be a situation of opposites attract. This could be a situation where the opposite thing the thing that you think of in your mind is the opposite of what you actually do in reality. So again, this could be what someone thinks they want to do or thinks they want the other person to do, but it never really happens. Because again, Fool, as much as it's reckless in the reverse, also shows me a person who doesn't take action. They become stuck or frozen in some type of way. Now, Gemini, this is quite a different reading than what I'm used to experiencing in your energy over the past couple of months, so this is very interesting to me. There's also, for some of you, like this attraction to attention, or being attracted to someone's infatuation. There we go. So this, even though it's Six of Cups, which can indicate some type of soul connection, take it to the bank if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But there's also like this feeling of like falling in love with a person but only a part of them, or being attracted to a person but only in a limited fashion, only seeing what you want to see in the person, not the full picture of who they are, aka a fantasy of them, a potential of them, a mock-up of them. It's not the true person. It's not the full breadth of their personality type, right? So this could be wanting to see the best in a person, putting on those rose-tinted glasses. Yes? Okay, there we go. So I think, Gemini, if this is you, or whoever this is, it could be the other person, could be you, it doesn't matter. Whoever this is, to get out of this strength energy, like really keeping it real, really understanding the rawness of human complexity or dynamics, seeing a person warts and all, as they say, warts and all, not filling your head with who you wish they were or who you remember them to be. Because that's the other thing about Six of Cups. Maybe you fell for this person when you were a teenager, and it's 20 years later and you still think they're their 17-year-old self. They've had 4 kids, or they've worked, 2 jobs for the past 5 of the 20 years that you haven't known them. They now smoke, and they never smoked when they were in high school. Now they smoke like a pack of cigarettes a day. Like, realizing that this person has changed over time, and thus you have too. And reconciling that this person, okay, there you go. This person is not who you remember them to be. That could be in this lifetime or a past lifetime, because that's another thing with the Six of Cups. We could be talking about past life connections. So if this is someone that you knew, 200 years ago, well, how did you know them? That's one of the other things about it. How did you know them then versus how do you know them now? In this one singular life, it's a little more linear. It makes a little bit more sense of, makes more sense, but it could be lending itself to more rational reasons why you're stuck on this person in some of your cases. Because again, like I said, some of you, this is like a high school sweetheart, a friend that you knew when you were growing up around the neighborhood. You moved away from each other. Now you're moving back home and you see this person again. It makes sense because we can perceive it as contained within this one lifetime. If this is a person that you knew, centuries ago, in a totally different place and time, in a different culture, maybe you or they were different people, different gender, different race, different ethnicity, different religion, spoke a different language, lived a different lifestyle, whatever. It kind of doesn't, it's a little bit harder to wrap your head around that, and might be a little bit harder for you to really find the wherewithal to understand the differences between the two incarnations, right? Because like I'm sensing here, it's like you feel you know this person, they're familiar to you, you kind of know them, quote unquote, inside out, but some of the things you or they do don't make sense. It's like, again, this idea of when they were younger, to bring it back to the singular life, the linear life that we perceive it as linear. It's not linear truly, but the life that you're living now, it's kind of like getting stuck in a loop, not accepting that this person is no longer 18 years old, no longer 26 years old, no longer, 20 years old, whatever it is, when you knew them, when you both were younger. Now that you're older, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even in your late 20s as opposed to your late teens, they're not the same, and neither are you. It takes some kind of strength to accept that, which sounds crazy, but what's in the center here? A soul relationship. Whatever the type, whatever label you want to put on it. Often, the logical human brain cannot deal with this type of connection. Wants to filter it. Wants it to make sense. Wants it to line up perfectly. Wants to be able to draw a mathematical equation that represents it. But, as is the way, it's not easy. So I think, not that this is your goal, but I think you're being challenged, pretty strongly challenged, Gemini, to rectify this. Find some recourse here, whether that's alongside this person as friends, reunited partners, reunited family members, whatever, reunited soulmates, past life soulmates, whatever, or to simply exist without them around, or exist but you guys aren't intertwined like you once were in this life or previous life. That could be the challenge here, is still having a soul connection, but you guys are not in connection, if that makes sense. AKA not in union is a way that we phrase it sometimes. So if it's not possible, either right now or for the foreseeable, for you to be in union, how do you progress? How do you get to that point of being okay with it, or being stable in that? Being unflustered by that? That's what this feels like. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's get more on the story here for Gemini. Give me more on this story for Gemini, please. Show me what else is happening here for them. Okay. All right. Seven of Pentacles. Nine of Swords rolled in reverse. Okay. So you or they, or both of you, could be both of you, are pretty determined to continue this merry-go-round. World reversed, major arcana for Capricorn, secondary major for Capricorn. Also the fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Could be dealing, don't have to be. Nine of Swords, seven of Pentacles. I think the evaluation of this is driving you crazy. Trying to understand this is driving you or they or both of you absolutely nuts. Nine of Swords. It's plaguing you, like you feel attacked, you feel burdened, you feel stressed, you feel overwhelmed at realizing to some degree, come on, there we go. Realizing to some degree this person is significant to you, you do have history, or you do have something of significance, but not really knowing how to proceed with it. Not really having a clear sight on how to, I suppose, make the most of it, or feel contented in it. Maybe for some of you, this person is present in your life. For some of you, this person absolutely isn't physically present, but you feel them, again, spiritually on the soul level. And that discontent or that disturbance in the soul category or in the spiritual connection portion, that really is it's very difficult to traverse this space, to deal with this energy. It's like, for good or for worse, knowing that you're tethered to a person, which, there are untethering practices you can get involved in. I do not do that on this channel. There are plenty of other resources for that. But feeling this spiritual tether, and, if it's working for you, great. If it's not working for you, well, what the fuck, And if it is working for you, it's kind of tenuous. It's kind of, again, mostly the potential of something, or the fantasy of something. Or going back to this idea of they're not who they used to be, or they're not as you remember them to be. So it could be, maybe you have reunited with someone, or maybe you are in physical contact with a person, in union. But again, it's like they don't feel like you used to. You don't recognize the person they are as the person they used to be. And that is causing a disturbance. 9 of Swords. We were so great when we were, dating in college. And now that we're back together, oh God, I realize this person has this problem, or they have this certain behavior that I'm not a fan of. The way they speak to me, I'm not really appreciative of. They have certain world beliefs that I just disagree with, or are troublesome to me. Something like that. So this 9 of Swords is feeling plagued or inundated, possibly cursed with this connection. 7 of Pentacles, evaluating it. And the World in reverse, coming to a non-conclusion about things. Not knowing where this person fits into your storybook, or how you fit into theirs, perhaps. Maybe it's not about them fitting into yours. It's like, how do I fit into your story? Am I a good partner on a soul level? Am I giving the best of myself, or something like that? Because the way this character is looking down at the ground, it's kind of also giving me this vibe of guilt or embarrassment. So maybe there's a contract between the two of you, a soul contract involving betrayal, involving some type of penance, some type of comeuppance, right? I mentioned this for, oh God, was it Aquarius? Oh, I can't remember what sign it was before you, but it was a reading I've already done in this series, and I mentioned the idea of karmic partners, and how, that's still a soulmate. And, I haven't done my caveat, and I'm not going to do it anymore, but, I think a general perception of the word soulmate is kind of hallmarky sometimes. It's kind of lovey-dovey sometimes. Oh, a soulmate is a person, and you care for them so deeply, and you care for them so deeply, and you recognize each other so much that there's no way that you could harm each other. Well, what the hell is a karmic partner? Right? Do we deny that a karmic partner has a significant soul tie to you or them or anybody else? Do we also then deny that the karmic partner, or do we deny that because the karmic partner sometimes harms us, disappoints us, makes us sad or angry, betrays us, do we then deny that that's a significant soul relationship? Because what is the purpose of a soulmate? I guess that's the bigger question. What do you or he or her or him or anybody, what do you believe a soulmate is meant for in this lifetime or any lifetime? And if we generally agree that a soulmate is meant to give us lessons or help us with lessons, help us grow, help us transcend and evolve spiritually, then a karmic partner for sure can be your soulmate or be a soulmate to you, but the intersection of you and them is quite unpleasant. And that's not me saying, oh, well, any abuse you've suffered, any trials and tribulations that have come across your path, suck it up. No, it's quite shitty. It's quite difficult. I understand that. But that's kind of why I don't like to talk about soulmates, especially in a general reading. I'll talk about it in a private reading all the time. But in a general reading, I don't really like to talk about it too much because I think some people have it in their mind that somehow when the soulmate betrays you, they're not really your soulmate. And you never should have trusted them. You never should have experienced them. A life with them, a love life with them, a friendship with them, a family relationship with them, whatever. No. You probably should have, because what have you learned on the other side of that? And how have you changed on the other side of that? Assuming you have a perspective or an awareness of things, right? So anyway, Gemini, that's what I'm sensing here, is that some of you have a soulmate that you're idolizing or visualizing internally that doesn't reconcile, doesn't match up with who they actually show up to be. That could be because, again, historically, when you were younger, they were a certain type of way, and now that you both are older, they're a different type of way. But I think for others of you, it's definitely a past life soulmate, and they come back, or you guys reunite in this life, and it's, you know each other, but you're not on the same page. Something like that. Making heads or tails of that and really getting to your lessons, getting to your growth points, getting to your point of expansion and awareness, that's the key here. And I feel that unfortunately is taking a back seat at this time, because I think you're very aware of the mundane, the day-to-day with this person, either with them or without them. Let's say it that way. You're very aware of how present they are in your life and how they affect you, or you're very aware of how not present they are and how much that affects you. And that's not the way to get the chapter moving. That's not the way to get progression here. So you might need a little bit of self-reflection here in order to help navigate this space, navigate this relationship, okay? All right, so let's get a card of advice for Gemini, and then we are done. So what's the card of advice for Gemini in this situation, please? What is the card of advice for Gemini in this situation? Please show me. Card of advice for Gemini, please. Okay. Judgment. Wow. All right. Secondary major for Scorpio. You could be dealing, but you don't have to be. So which way do you want to go with this? Gemini, do you want to put a line under this, put a period at the end of the sentence, or are you going to put an ellipses at the end of the sentence? Is this chapter fully over, or will there be a continuation? Will the story pick up later on in your book of life? Or so, but I really think that's more a symptom or more of a partial manifestation of what's really going on. Meaning, I think you need to consider this, but for yourself. So maybe take the idea or the presence or lack of presence of your soulmate out of the picture and focus on your path, your story, parts of yourself, parts of your experience, parts of your soul, parts of your ego that need to be buried, that need to be let go of. Instead of buried, let's say let go of, released, okay? What can you release from yourself? What can you initiate the process of rebirth within yourself? What serves you in those ways to do either of those actions that's going to lead to a higher elevation for yourself? I think several of you, this Six of Cups is stronger than it should be, meaning you care too much about the other person and where they are and how they are and what they're doing and vice versa, right? A lot of people will say this, a lot of readers and intuitive guides and self-helpers will say this. The union starts with yourself. the relationship of a certain type, of a certain quality that you desire, cannot happen until you have some sense of peace, calmness, and unity with yourself. And in order to do that, there are certain parts of you, of your reality, of your mindset, of your perspective, that need to be laid to rest, released. Others need to be unburied, brought back to life because they've been offline too long. So that's a challenge for sure, which we talked about a little bit earlier with the Strength card. There's a certain challenge that is proposed to you, that is being set before you, but you may not, answer the call. And that's your right to do. You must choose for yourself, okay? Gemini, that's your reading for mid-August. If you like this reading, if you found something that resonated here, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know how it resonated. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share the video also if you want to do that. Gemini, if you want to get at me for a personal reading, you can find out how to do so by looking in the description box below. And I appreciate you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye.